From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Morning Edition.
Hey everyone, happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. It's December 29th.
So let's get going.
This is just going to set us back a little bit. And, it just, Mother Nature, you can't play with Mother Nature.
Waking up this morning with a lot of cleanup after intense waves on our coast. But Mother Nature isn't done. More rain is on the way on this first alert weather day.
Now let her breathe. You ain't nothing but a clown. When we really needed you, you would never be around.
A rapper finds himself in the hot seat of San Francisco politics. Did this criticism of Mayor London Breed go too far? A controversy in our city.
Oh, that's BS. The doom loop is something easy to say. It riles people up.
This man isn't the only one tired of hearing negative headlines about San Francisco, and now he's introducing people to SF in a mini way.
I just felt like my drinking was getting, I guess, a little more than I was comfortable with it being.
Exchanging cocktails for mocktails. The new year is almost here, and Dry January challenging people to start off the new year with sobriety.
All right, grab your mocktail, drop the top, hit the city streets. It's the weekend, people. Maybe not drop the top because the weather.
The rain.
I feel like you just wrote a rap.
Oh, thank you. We do have a
Nicole's
controversial rap discussion coming up.
I'm going to call you Nikki Z.
On the ones and twos.
That's right. I'm Reed Cowan, and I don't have any bars to drop this morning, but we are going to have some pretty hot button conversations this morning talking about that rapper and an apology that didn't really end up feeling like an apology.
Yeah, maybe you've seen it. It's been all over social media right now. There's been a few stories about it, but definitely an interesting thing that I'm looking forward to having a bit of a chat about. But right now, we do want to get to some breaking news happening in Oakland this morning. We are seeing a huge police presence. This is along Embarcadero Street. Leslie Gooden has the latest.
Yes, that's right. We were at 5th and Embarcadero, but we were told to move by police due to safety concerns. And so now we are just a few blocks away. And at one point there, you were able to see police lights right behind me, but it looks like they're moving. And we're told that they're moving also outer, more parameters around this location, and we still don't know exactly why they were here, but let me tell you what we know so far. Take a look at this video that we got earlier. Now, you can see a white Tacoma pickup truck that has several bullet holes on the side, and the back windows are completely blown out, and there is heavy police presence all around the area. And as we were driving in 880, it was impossible to get off of that exit, and you can also even see shell casings on the ground here too. And there is police tape blocking these streets. And we are also going to be moving again to try to get a better location and get more information about what exactly is going on. So if you are driving near this area, you should probably avoid it because it is difficult to navigate.
Yeah, thank you, Leslie, for that. And it is, and just kind of showing you our maps of that area. You have those street closures there along Embarcadero between 5th and 16th. But you've also got this backup happening on 880 because you can't exit off the freeway there at Embarcadero or 16th if you're headed southbound. So both directions, we're seeing a lot of brake lights and some slow and go conditions. In fact, I'm going to kind of zoom in here. You can see as far as that red is backing up there, well to High Street at this point. So definitely a slow commute this morning. Use 580 as an alternate. That is wide open, no delays, no closures. You can avoid that area along 880, and a lot of police activity for a pretty good amount of streets there as you head along Embarcadero. So all of that is completely shut down. So again, use 580 as an alternate to help navigate through that area. Maybe even BART this morning might be a good option. And here's a look at the Nimitz just south of there. You can see the freeway is pretty lightly traveled. It is holiday light. We are heading into that New Year's Eve weekend, so that will certainly help as far as crowding on the freeway. But again, with that closure in place and having to exit on and off the freeways and all the activity might be also a bit of a distraction for commuters traveling in and around that area. Well, all evacuation orders have been canceled this morning in Santa Cruz County after that high surf and flooding happened along the coast. Now the cleanup can begin in places like Pacifica. So take a look at this. The shoreline actually ended up in this person's front yard. Look at that water there. And in the small seaside town of Capitola, the historic wharf destroyed in last winter's storms, well, it took another beating along with coastal homes and businesses. So let's get a live look right now this morning at San Jose today, and you can see things are looking pretty dry and calm for now, but it is another first alert weather day, guys, and as people clean up, we are getting ready for more rain later on today. So that umbrella, that rain jacket, those rain boots, they need to be handy.
Sandbags.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, there's a lot of advisories also issued by the National Weather Service that we need to break apart, starting off with a coastal flood advisory along our California coastline from Santa Cruz stretching up into Bodega Bay and everywhere in between until 2 o'clock today. Localized flooding is possible. And to add to that, we're also seeing heavy downpour into this afternoon. On top of those breakers, they could get anywhere up to around 20 feet high today. Yesterday, it was closer to 40. Today, it's about 20. So a little bit lighter in the grand scheme of things, but still a very active weather day. Let's actually talk about that high surf advisory a bit more. Strong rip currents are still possible. Today is not the day to head out to the coastline. Sneaker waves are also possible. We saw that yesterday, and we're going to see a very similar repeat today. This was yesterday's swell. Here we go all the way into our Friday forecast, heading into the evening hours tonight. Another large swell expected to build its way in. And it's not only at the surface level. We're dealing with gusty conditions in the atmosphere, too. Wind speeds today anywhere to around 40 miles per hour along our coastline. Luckily, it starts to die down as we head into the evening hours tonight after a major storm builds its way in. I'm going to have more on the storm and how much rain we could get coming up. For now, over to you.
All right, well, check out this scene in Stinson Beach in Marin County. You can see it behind me, and it really gives you a good idea of the impact of the storm surge. Our Itai Hod spent the day with some new residents who literally got their feet wet in their new community.
This is what Donna Everhart and her husband Brian Franklin woke up to Thursday morning.
Whoa, Donna!
Their street on Stinson Beach flooded with water as high surf and storm surges pummeled their neighborhood.
It sort of took my feet away from me, and I was going this way. That rock was rolling around at my ankles, and I grabbed onto the fence thingy until the water went away. It's running that way.
Donna and Brian moved here a year ago from Oakland after falling in love with this charming seaside community.
So we've lived all over the world, and this was a no-brainer.
But even though they were warned that this area is prone to flooding, they never expected to experience it quite so quickly.
We refer to it as a baptism.
The water got close, but the house was spared thanks to a handful of sandbags delivered by the local Stinson Beach Fire Department. Tucked between the Pacific Ocean and Bolinas Lagoon, this town of about 500 residents is one of Marin County's most vulnerable communities, with studies showing this beach here could be inundated by mid to late century. Donna and Brian say they're still happy they made the move.
What we saw today was just beauty and rawness. Should we go puddle jumping?
And even after all that water, they say, the experience hasn't dampened their love for Stinson Beach.
Now looking live at Rio Del Mar, the CHP closed off the area yesterday due to the big waves in that region. The waves brought a lot of mud and debris onto the streets there, blocking the roads and bringing out spectators to watch the surf. It has been less than a year since a series of atmospheric rivers pummeled Capitola's coastal community, and now the city has been hit again by destructive waves. Yesterday, surging water burst into buildings and homes along the coast, as you can see there, causing widespread damage.
Just awful last year, but this year is a lot worse, at least for these buildings right here. Debris comes from the river, like lumber and trees, and then they just pushed over and through our buildings.
Some Capitola businesses still haven't reopened since the January storms. And stay with CBS News Bay Area for continuing First Alert weather coverage. You can find updates anytime on KPIX.com and streaming on the free CBS News app.
Let's talk about politics. Donald Trump will appear on California's presidential primary ballot in 2024. Overnight, California Secretary of State Dr. Shirley Weber released a list of certified candidates, and on that list is Donald Trump. This comes, though, as Maine's top election official removed the former president from its state ballot based on the 14th Amendment's insurrectionist ban. The decision makes Maine the second state to disqualify Trump from following a decision from running for president. That follows a decision by Colorado's Supreme Court. Likely it will go up to the U.S. Supreme Court. Meanwhile, the woman who would like to beat Trump for the Republican nomination for president is under fire this morning. GOP presidential candidate Nikki Haley did not mention slavery as a cause for the Civil War. And for that, she is facing attacks literally from all sides. Haley has since clarified. She now says, of course, slavery caused the Civil War, but she also blames Democrats for planting somebody in the audience to ask that question. By the way, that allegation has not been substantiated by our news organization this morning. A sad update on a 70-year-old Israeli woman with U.S. citizenship held in Gaza. Here's your headline. We've now learned Judy Weinstein Haggai was killed during the terrorist attack on October 7th. Not a hostage after all. By the way, her husband also murdered that day. The couple were out on an early morning walk near their home October 7th when Hamas militants burst across the border into Israel, killing 1,200 people and kidnapping 240 others.